The topic is a new invention to market with trust at its core. So, because I know you are doing something related to that new way of marketing, where you are using this, how to secure yourself and all that skills you have to be able to make sure that it goes into marketing. I don't really have an idea of that thing, but I wanted to explain to the audience what this new way of new invention to market with trust at its core. What is it about?
Well, there's a few things about this invention that are a little different than others. If you want to make the world a safer place, you have to offer something that the businesses, the services that we use every day need. So there's both a business problem to solve, like the App Store, and there is a fraud problem to solve,
Yeah.
the App Store. So the fraud problem is that we have a very easy to fake identity situation where if I upload a photo and fill out a profile, you can't tell me from a legitimate person. And I can easily generate vast numbers of disposable profiles so that no matter how fast you flag them and review them and turn them off, it doesn't affect my business. Right?
Yeah.
My business is one of numbers. I need large numbers of fake profiles to get done what I want to do. And that means there's an economic underlying mechanism. So what TrueAnon does is it attacks the economics of profile fraud. It doesn't make it impossible.
Yeah.
What it does is it makes it impractical, which is really the same thing that the App Store does, right? The App Store gave you verified information, right? You get the song you want, not a virus.
Yeah.
That's worth a buck if you get it immediately, reliably, and fast.
Sorry, what's the invention called? What's it called? Like I didn't get the name. Is it true on or what it called?
TrueAnon,
True and on.
TrueAnon, it
Oh,
is true but anonymous.
okay.
It
Okay,
sounds a little much
okay,
like
true
QAnon.
anon. True anon. Okay, I get it now.
QAnon,
True
yes,
anon. Okay.
yeah. Or it could be a recovery, like Al-Anon or something.
Okay.
I don't know exactly where the name came from. But the idea is that we should own and control our identity.
Yeah.
And if you are a Twitter or a dating service or LinkedIn, um, there is a liability to capturing a lot of private data and processing, right?
Yeah.
That's why they wake up and they read about a data breach in the news. So
Yeah.
there's this competition. If you own a dating site, let's just imagine you're launching your own dating site or you've been running one and you've got, a few million users on there. People are starting to attack your community, right? You've built up all this value. Well, fraudsters see that value as something as a vehicle for crime, right? So the minute you're popular, somebody out there has looked at your service and thought, how can I use that to scam the people
Yeah.
that the person was
Yeah.
brought together?
Yeah.
It's the worst nightmare you could experience as a service
Yeah.
provider. Nobody wants that.
Nobody.
But what do you do about it, right? So you've got this pressure that someday you're going to read about your own company in the news, right? Not in a good way.
Yeah.
Um, and you've got this other pressure that every time you hire another one of these identity providers, they only work for one region, right? One kind of driver's license or passport or whatever. And they all end up with the same disputes and reviews and violations that you were trying to avoid. It's kind
Yeah.
of ironic, but they're caught in a balance. Do I wait until something bad happens and I get fired that way? Or do I pick something that is wrong, and makes things worse and get fired that way?
Mm.
Right?
Wow.
So if you're an owner of a dating service, you don't like verify solutions, but you don't like not having them either.
Yeah.
If you have a verify solution that is instead of a privacy problem for me, then maybe I want to use it. If it helps me verify things that I want others to know and see about me, my blog, my LinkedIn profile. Why can't I confirm that I own my LinkedIn profile and say, this is the one and only LinkedIn profile and I own it. Yeah. It has been proven as such. Now, that's a benefit just by definition, right? Yeah. If I come across your profile and you've just asked me to buy your Nigerian oil, and you spent 10 minutes writing me a very convincing letter about why I should do this, send you money, and you're avoiding verification. I might say to myself, gee, I just spent 10 minutes. I've got a credible identity score. Yeah. Why didn't you bother? And I don't need instruction or study. I don't need to be, given a way to. I just don't trust you. I move on. Yeah. It's quick and it's easy. Yeah. So the trick is to make being who you are very easy for the person who is that. It's very easy for me to confirm my university email when I have a university email. Yeah, that's not readily available to people that are not associated with the university. Now, that's not a big deal, but it's part of my legitimate digital self, right? All of that stuff is my digital self. It's the only thing we get to do in the digital world. We log into something and we create some content. Yeah. So I already own these things. I already own my account at the Department of Motor Vehicles that printed the ID card that I'm verifying. Why don't I just verify that I own the digital account? Only one person can do that. So the solution isn't that complicated. And interestingly, it does not involve cryptography at all. There's no private information involved. And that's the point, right? You should be able to do this on your own. You should control it. And me as the dating site, if I give you this tool, you make it work. Members make it work. I am not reviewing you. I'm not telling you you're not who you are. I'm not getting in between you and doing the business you want to do on my service. I'm not changing anything. I'm just giving you a tool to be legitimate. So much so that anyone who avoids it probably isn't. Yeah. This is a big, big help. Yeah. And if it helps the service that we use, then the service needs this too. So you're not going to help make the world safer if you come up with some quantum computing cryptography that nobody can afford and nobody can make use of. You need something that works on Twitter, something that works on Upwork, right? Something that's just very, very simple. And if you have something that is of value to the services that we use, and it makes it safer for them, solving the problem for me is the same as solving it for Craigslist. Yeah. Right? So we're in the same boat, all of us. We don't want our reputations destroyed, right? Craigslist doesn't want to be known as the rape and murder. That's not. Nobody wakes up and wants to work on that site. Nobody's ambition is to make a site where criminals take advantage of our children. Yeah. They would like to solve this problem as much as anyone else. Yeah. But you've got to give them a tool that they can use that makes money. And verified data is always worth more. If you get a user to verify their data, their whole lifetime value of account is multiplied. Exactly. If you ever wonder about the dollars involved, think about Twitter getting taken over, right? Their whole company is half as much or twice as much based on the number of bots. Not because we don't know bots exist, but because advertisers don't want to send ads to them. Yeah. So all we want to know is who's legit, right? Who is legit? And if we could find that out, it's worth several times as much.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And this
we
really,
come to services and we help them. That's what we
yeah,
do.
yeah, and this really very good because very profound and very interesting because, like, let's just look at the businesses. The businesses always want to verify what people or the other organizations like B2B that they do businesses with. Every time they want to verify before, especially if they not have had any interactions with you before or with the business before, they want to verify. So this is very interesting and very innovative because this will take, it's like, let's imagine if everyone in a particular organization or community are verified, when somebody else comes into that community that is not verified, it's easily detected. And that saves you a lot of time. The time you take to say, oh, let me take time, let me check this person out on Google or on LinkedIn or on any platform, let me see if it saves you all that stress. And this tool should be able to help you do that to make sure every single person on your platform, whether on LinkedIn or on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, every person on that platform is verified and they are legit. And that solves a huge problem. All the prank, all the fraudsters will actually be weeded out with time.
Yeah, they become obvious by their avoidance.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't take teaching your community to look for it. They just naturally avoid those people.
Yeah.
And that is a profound difference because normally verify is something that requires something of you. You're going to have to surrender private documents, and you're going to have to risk, your reputation.
Yeah.
So, in a certain way, I really wish that a startup that I'd come across in the 1990s was trying to solve this problem because there is nothing I wrote in 2020 or 2025 or whatever it is that I couldn't have written back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
this ends up being phenomenally simple.
Mm.
It does not require cryptography. It does not require modern
Like
technology.